Most of us are taught that building wealth means getting a bigger paycheck. But what if that's only half the story? The real secret isn't just about what you make, it's about having a smarter financial system, kind of like an operating system for your money. This isn't just a collection of random tips, we're talking about a fully integrated blueprint for real financial growth. And it all starts with one really important question. So let's just chew on this for a second. Is wealth really built by earning more, or is it built by losing less? See, when you think about it that way, the focus shifts. It's not just about your income anymore. It's about strategic efficiency. It's about plugging the quiet leaks, things like taxes and liability, that can secretly drain your resources year after year after year.
Because here's the thing, the most successful wealth strategies, they aren't just random bits of advice you find online. No, they're a carefully planned, multi-layered system, a real blueprint that's designed to give you two things: control and clarity.
Real, lasting wealth doesn't just happen by accident. It's the result of intentional, smart decisions that you make way in advance. It's about building a structure that works for you in the background even when you're not thinking about it. So let's look at the first piece of that structure. Okay, the first and honestly the most critical layer of this entire system is what we'll call the foundational liability shield. And look, the whole blueprint, everything else we're about to talk about, completely falls apart without this. It's the simple but profound act of legally separating your personal life from your business life.
So when you own business assets, there are really two very different paths you can go down. Path one, you hold everything in your personal name. The problem? It's all exposed. A lawsuit against your business could threaten your home, your car, your savings, everything. And here's a detail that trips up so many people: the due on sale clause. If you try to move a property with a mortgage into an LLC later, your bank could actually demand you repay the entire loan right then and there. That's why path two, starting with an LLC from day one, is so crucial. It creates that legal shield, gives you privacy, and just makes things cleaner and safer from the get-go.
But listen, that shield only works if you respect the separation. The single biggest mistake people make is something called commingling. That's just a fancy word for mixing your money, using your business account for personal stuff or your personal account for business. If you do that, a court can do what's called piercing the corporate veil. They can basically say, nope, this isn't a real company, and poof, your LLC's protection is completely worthless. That's why having a separate business bank account with its own employer identification number, or EIN, is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. So, once you've built that protective shield, it's time to install the engine. This is the part of the system that actively works to legally reduce your income tax. And this is where assets, especially things like real estate, become incredibly powerful tools. The fuel for this engine is a concept called depreciation. And honestly, it's one of the most amazing tools in the entire tax code. Think of it like a paper loss. The tax system literally lets you deduct a piece of a building's cost every single year for wear and tear. This lowers your taxable income, which is amazing, but here's the kicker. You get to do this even if the property is actually going up in value. It's incredible. So how does this actually work in practice? Well, it's basically a 5-step process. First, you get a rental property. Next, you do something called a cost-segregation study. This is where engineers identify parts of the property, like the carpet, the cabinets, the fixtures, that can be depreciated way faster than the building itself. This step lets you accelerate the depreciation, creating a massive paper loss right in year one. And here's the most important part. You can then take that paper loss and use it to lower the taxes you owe on your regular W-2 job or your other business income. And we are not talking about small potatoes here. Get this. With strategies like a cost segregation study and bonus depreciation, it's pretty typical for 20 to 30% of the property's entire value to become a tax write-off in the very first year. I mean,
That's a paper loss big enough to potentially wipe out a massive chunk of your income tax bill.
All right, now as your business grows and your income goes up, the system itself needs an upgrade. This next layer of the blueprint is a strategic tax change that becomes really important once your profits hit a certain level. It's all about changing how the tax code sees you. You're not just an earner anymore, you're an owner.
The problem this upgrade solves is the dreaded self-employment tax. With a standard LLC, you pay a flat 15.3% tax on every single dollar of profit. In the beginning, it's no big deal. But as your business starts to really scale, that tax becomes a huge financial drag. Let's just put some real numbers on this. Say your LLC makes $100,000 in profit. With a standard setup, that's over $15,000 right off the top for self-employment tax. But if you choose to be taxed as an S-corporation, you change the whole game. Now you pay yourself a reasonable salary, let's say $30,000 in this case, and you only pay that 15.3% tax on that salary. The other $70,000, that's a distribution of profits, and it is not subject to that tax. The savings are huge and immediate. It's a fundamental shift. So you're probably asking, okay, when should I actually do this? Well, according to experts, the magic number to start thinking about it is right around $50,000 in annual profit. Any lower than that, and the extra paperwork might not be worth it. But once you cross that line, making the S-Corp election becomes a core part of an efficient wealth-building system. Now, the final piece of our blueprint looks beyond just you. It focuses on the long game, ensuring the wealth you worked so hard to build is preserved for the next generation. This isn't just about making money, it's about making sure that money lasts and that all your hard work isn't lost at the finish line.
This is done through an amazing rule called the step up in basis. Okay, imagine this story. Someone buys an asset, say a property, for $100,000. That's its cost basis. Over many years, it appreciates all the way up to $500,000. Now, if they sold it, they'd owe capital gains tax on that $400,000 profit. But if they hold that asset until they pass away, their heirs' cost basis magically steps up to whatever the market value is at that time. In this case, $500,000. So what does that mean? Well, what happens if the heir turns around and immediately sells that asset for its new value of $500,000? Since their cost basis is now the same as the sale price, their taxable gain is zero. They would owe exactly $0 in capital gains tax. Decades of appreciation. That entire $400,000 gain is legally and permanently wiped clean from a tax perspective. And that really brings us to the most important point. None of these strategies, the LLC shield, the depreciation engine, the S-Corp upgrade, or the step-up in basis, are just clever one-off tricks. They are powerful on their own for sure, but they are most effective when they're all working together as one cohesive, integrated system. So let's recap the blueprint. It's a four-part system. It all starts with a legal shield to protect your personal assets. Then you add a tax reduction engine to lower your income tax. As you grow, you get a tax structure upgrade to minimize those payroll taxes. And finally, you have a preservation plan to protect it all for the future. You see? Each piece builds on the last. Which really just leaves us with one final question. Your financial future is, without a doubt, a system. There's no getting around that. The only real question is, are you going to be the architect who intentionally designs it? Or are you just going to be a bystander living within it? The choice is yours.